Okay, as you've been following, I've been working with the Italian Vetterli rifle and trying to develop a process to make the ammunition for it, for the 10.4 by 47R. Well, I finally got out and got something thrown together and fired the rifle. And here's a 10.4 millimeter Vetterli. I've got my gun out, so I've been working with the guns, and what I did is, like I said, I had trouble fire forming the case. I took a bullet for the Swiss Vetterli that was healed, and it was too large. The Swiss Vetterlis fire a bullet of a larger diameter, and I have to do more research and figure out what type of bullet I'm going to put on the Italian Vetterli. The bullets I have, I could take my bullet for the 10.4 by 42 and just squeeze it down more, but I don't want to do that. I had that bullet mold made specifically to cast that bullet of a diameter. And what I've done, at least how I've progressed so far, is using a 300 grain bullet, 300 to 313. I got this bullet on them cases, fired the cases, expanded them out, so now I had a case that was expanded to the chamber, so I can take measurements from that and calculate some stuff or get an idea what I'm dealing with. And then you got to look at what dies you're using. I'm using CH4D dies, and now that I got something, I can go size it, see what I end up with, and how that plug to expand the neck. I think the CH4D dies in that caliber are set up for something about 425 or something like that, the diameter bullet, or the case neck will be there. Which now I can figure, do I want to use a healed bullet? Do I, what type of bullet do I want to use? So there's going to be more fooling around, and I'm going to pick out and get a specific bullet for this caliber. Okay, I'm looking at 3 different molds, so there'll be a little bit of a delay by the time I get to where I'm producing this ammo. But what has happened is I went through, I had the right bullet weight, something close. I went and I shot some cartridges, so not only did I get brass measurements, but I also picked a load. And how this trick kind of trickles down to my other projects is a lot of people were interested in the Swiss rounds. Okay, they're kind of tied in. They're formed from the same case, the 8 millimeter Lebel, and the same process, but it's a different caliber, different gun. And the load I developed all those years ago when I made the videos when I first did that, they don't make that powder anymore. So I had to come up with something else because several people have requested brass, ammunition, bullets, whatever. And I said, look, I gotta get back into it. I've been working on some things, and little by little over the weekend I've got them done. But I used 2 powders in my research, going back and checking my notes, and in my research online, going to different forums. And this time around I used 2400 and 5744. Now, in the video you'll hear me call it 5477 or something. It's just on the range I get numbers confused. But this is what I'm talking about. And basically at the end of the, I'll go to the range part of the video, and at the end I'll show you the targets. But basically I found a nice load using this. Okay, now you got to remember I'm using a bullet that's way oversized. It was like 329. I think the groove diameter is 324 on that rifle. So that bullet was in there, and the back end of it was way oversized, so there was no leading also. Okay, that was another problem I have using this, no leading. So we made some progress there. I got a baseline to go by that I know is safe. I'm throwing the proper weight bullet at the proper velocity, okay? And there's no signs of pressure, no weird stuff and that. So this will trickle down. I can use this powder to redo my load for the 10.4 by 44 Swiss, and then the 38 Swiss I'm going to work on. I haven't done that yet, but I got a healed bullet, and that's basically what I was using. I'm going to see if this can be transferred to the older Swiss rifles. So it's all hand in hand. And while we're waiting for me to select a bullet in that, I'll work on the Swiss, and then I got a book on the Italian Vetterlis. Well worth it. So I'm going to do a book review video, explain to you that book, why it's good, why it's worth the money. Okay? And so now, and also, I dragged this out. This is my Italian Vetterli 80, 87, 15 or whatever, converted to 6.5 Carcano. Somebody was asking about that. When I took this gun out a few years ago, I was down here working on it today, the extractor was stuck or something. I tried looking up and fooling with it. I had to oil it, let it sit, try to move it. I couldn't get it out, but I got it to where it's working, and I think I can go to the range and fire some ammo in it. And I will show you what I use. I use my cast bullet load. It's very low powered. I think works like a charm in this. Should be fine. And I'll explain it to you. If you want to know what bullet I'm using, I'll tell you. Or if you want ammunition, if you got empty brass, send it to me. I'll load it for you, and you can go out and shoot them. So, all right, let's go to the range, and then we'll come back and review the targets. All right, we're out here. We're going to test fire our 10.4 by 47 rim in our Italian Vetterli rifle. 1870-78, magazine fed. And I'm going to run just basically 5 rounds down. I kind of did test it, and no catastrophic failure. The lows aren't real hot. But we're set up at 50 yards. We're going to run it across the chronograph and see what we end up with. Okay. Sun's right in my eyes today here. I believe this is 2400. Yeah, we're already at 1300 feet per second, so that means we got to back off on this other stuff. I'm not going to go over it. Got to pull it all down. Alright, one was a little bit slower. I may run the second batch just to get the chrono results, but cases are fire forming out nice, so we got an idea. Alright. Okay, we did our first string of 3 with 2400. Come out pretty good. I'm seriously thinking about changing the bullet though, but the brass is forming up nice. I haven't lost any. Now this is our, I think it's 5477. Got 1 powder. And at 22 grains of powder, 2400, drove up some of them bullets close to 1375. A little too fast for my liking. I like to gradually work it up. But like I said, it's all experimental. Now let's see what we get. And the sights are fairly well on at 50 yards with this. 1251. Alright, so we're not hitting any weird pressure things or speed. The brass is forming up nice. And the low 12s. Now that may be the powder. So we'll check to see how consistent and which powder we'll go on with. That's basically why we got the chronograph off. Not so much for accuracy or anything. I'm just trying to get speeds, bullet diameter, and make sure my parameters are safe. Okay, we got our last string, and so far from the results, we'll review the targets when I get back to the house. But it looks like that 5477 is going to be the powder to use. I'm running the last one here with it. And I'm going to get this last string out. Alright, success. So we got some chronograph data, an idea of what the hell we're dealing with, and some cases to work with. Okay, the first three strings were with 2400. Now, the gun was like right on at 50 yards. I was expecting this thing to shoot 2 feet high. And so the first target I didn't hit nothing. We recycled it and used it for something else, and it was spread out. The second string of 2400, here's 2, and then there was some here. If it was something to take notice of, I would have photographed it or cut the paper or something. The last string is showing you what we were getting with 2400 in the bullet. You see it's pretty much spread out. Okay, so then I went to the 5744. And the first string again shot low, so that's why you don't see nothing. But here's the money round. This was the second or the 5th string in my series. There we go. That's a group, that's what you want to see, and you work from it from there on. Then we go up 1 grain more, and that's what we got, is this here. So we're going to concentrate on developing this load. The numbers look good on the chronograph, and so we got a winner, and that's with 5744. Now I got to go back and get a bullet, figure out what kind of bullet I want to get a mold made up for. Okay, so that's where we're at. We made some progress. I got a baseline, some safety things, and we're going to move on. I know a lot of you fellas are out there sending in donations with Patreon and have sent me donations and are been eager and asking about the different Vetterlis, Swiss and this one, not so much this, but I had a lot of interest in the Swiss rifles. So I got a couple jobs that somebody has asked me to do, one reloading and I have to make some tooling. Then after that, this week, we'll be going back to the Swiss rifles, and like I said, maybe I'll do some videos on reviewing this book. I'll see if I can find a book on Swiss Vetterlis, which would be cool. And then I'll review the Vetterlis I have, and the different types of ammo. We'll go over that, and then I'll try. See, now the only other catch is some stuff I need access to a machine shop, which I don't have, and I'm thinking of going with a different case other than the 8mm Lebel to eliminate the fire forming end of it. And the minimum amount I can get, they're like $1.08 a piece, and the minimum amount I can get is 100 of them. So I'm going to have to move some stuff around and maybe wait, because I want to get the bullet mold ordered, and that's going to be anywhere from $140 to $180 once I decide on a bullet mold, and then kick out some bullets. But in the meantime, when I'm waiting for all this other stuff, maybe I'll go back. If I can get that brass, I'll try forming the two Swiss rounds, and then using this powder. Fortunately, I got enough of this powder lying around. And the bullet mold I have for the one Swiss and the one that I am using, I got 2 different bullets. And we'll go out and do some work there, and that'll help satisfy you guys with interested in the two Swiss rifles, or the rounds of ammunition. But as for, being able to sell or anything, I have like less than 50 cases, now far less than 50 cases. I lost 3 or 4 of them in the forming, and I lost one there, and I might shorten them up just so I can get it in my other Vetterli and use the brass I have. I would like to wait until I can go and take some cases, make them in the 3 calibers, new, unfired. No fire forming, no nothing. Fabricate you a case of virgin brass that's been annealed, and then there's 2 or 3 people that have been asking just for the cases and maybe some bullets. They have a set of the dies, and I can set you up with something like that, but it's just not going to be immediately. I'm working on it. So there you go, guys. And any of you is hanging on the fence or getting questions, I'll mention it when I review the book. If you can see you donating $1 a month to help finance all this, keep it going, it'd be appreciated. And I know there's 5 or 6 of you watching this video now that have been generous and sent me funds to keep me going, and I thank you.